Is it being left to South Korea to lead the peace process on the Korean Peninsula? It certainly seems so, with North Korea and the United States appearing to be a world away from the denuclearization dialogue process of 2018 to 19. Last month, we passed the second anniversary of an inter-Korean summit agreement to boost cooperation. But since those heights of diplomacy, we've seen a drawn-out stalemate. And now the North appears to be actively preparing for a large military parade this month, based on satellite imagery and other recent reports, which have also warned Pyongyang could be gearing up for a major provocation, like a submarine-launched ballistic missile test. Meanwhile, the US has a presidential election looming, and current President Donald Trump seems to be avoiding making North Korea a major election issue. Indeed, he failed to mention North Korea in his recent United Nations General Assembly address, marking the first time he's not mentioned the North in his 4 UN speeches since taking office. Still, a major North Korean provocation before next month's election would disrupt Trump's narrative that his actions have steered the US away from a war in Korea and even prevented significant missile or nuclear testing by the North. Perhaps Pyongyang will wait to see who's elected before making its next decisive step. But this all leaves Seoul looking like the only active and patient peacemaker, knowing that we still haven't seen a peace treaty replace the armistice agreement that put the Korean War on pause in 1953. South Korean President Moon Jae-in took the opportunity of his own UN General Assembly speech to reiterate an earlier call for a declaration to end the Korean War, insisting that would open the door to complete denuclearization and peace, rather than endlessly waiting for the US and the North to reach a bilateral solution. The South Korean leader suggested that the international community should view Korean Peninsula issues via the lens of more inclusive international cooperation. The trouble is, given the history and American military role on the peninsula today, Seoul needs at least one or both of the US and North Korea to be willing to bend, with Washington's commitment to sanctions and North Korea's fixation on nuclear weapons standing in the way of Moon and his desired peace legacy. And of course, there's the question of whether North Korea is prepared to pursue peaceful behavior towards the South, which may be seriously doubted, as President Moon last week condemned the North's killing and burning of a South Korean fisheries official who went missing at sea, bringing back memories of a South Korean civilian being shot dead after wandering into a restricted zone at the North's Kumgang Mountain Resort in 2008. Much now depends on how far patience can be pushed in the name of peace.